Former MotoGP rider Martin Bauer has already tested it extensively, drifted it and slid it. That you will see in this video. But if you want to know how the M1000R performs on Alpine roads by two ambitious but not overly talented riders, watch the video. Stay tuned for a lot of fun. Welcome to a new 1000 PS video. Today we tested the BMW M1000R, the superlative of the naked bikes available on the market. What a crazy bike! 210 horsepower in a bike. Where will the future take us? Seriously. Now I don't know and I don't really care because 210 horsepower are what I have right here in front of me. It is absurd. It's clear that these roads are not this bike's natural habitat. But for those who want maximum power and still the possibility of going on a tour, we made this video. Now we consciously decided not to bring this bad girl to the Stelvio Pass, thinking that the famous tight corners are too much for this BMW. But we still chose a route with several tight corners, and I have to say that I didn't expect this engine, derived from the S1000RR and planted inside this naked chassis, to be so easy to use with so much power. Even at low revs, the torque is plenty. Not to mention the wider corners, where you can exploit the insane power delivered in the mid-range. Now let's move on to my impressions straight from the saddle. Let's see how the M1000R rides on Alpine roads. Wow! It's impossible to exploit all the power of this bike. Over 200 horsepower spread over more than 12,000 revs. Holy moly, what a burst of torque at low revs. And then once you reach the mid-range, all hell breaks loose. I don't want to die or lose my license, so I go off the throttle. But I swear to you, this is madness on these Alpine roads. Definitely powerful enough for the track. On the road, with so many cracks, I can tell you that the suspension is a bit stiff, but not too much. And just look at how wonderful this engine is. I can ride in 6th gear at under 50 kilometers an hour and the bike is pretty quiet, even with the Akrapovic exhaust, but only as long as you want it to. Very good feedback from the tire, I have to say, very good brake feeling as well. The spirited ride on this bike is just as you would expect it to be, but then again, you can also ride it very comfortably without any problems. And we also rode the Ducati V4S. If you want the English version of that test, subscribe to the channel and let me know in the comments down below. I really must say that I was afraid of losing my license with this bike. In fact, there was a moment when I saw a bus coming towards me, but with a little twist of the throttle, I easily overtook the van in front of next to me and I was good. Within moments I had passed it, just another testimonial to the crazy power of this bike. Now, as I said, never in your life will you harness the power of this bike on these B roads, let alone here in the mountains at 8,000 RPM more or less. I went off the throttle or changed gear, but the maximum power of 210 horsepower is to be found at 13,750 RPM, a point we never reached. At most, in first gear, I could have let her reach those RPMs, but it pains my heart to do so, so I didn't. The maximum torque of 113 Newton meters is available at 11,000 RPM. But the bike pushes hard, starting from 4,000 to 5,000 RPM. The delivery is really smooth. In fact, it doesn't give me the impression of being a superbike engine at all. You would rather think they designed it this way. The bike's cost starts at $21,345 or 19,480 UK pounds, but we fitted the M competition package, which here in Germany added an extra cost of over 6,000 euros with all its carbon elements like levers and wheels. Now let's talk about the riding position. I have to say, you're a bit lean forward, but it's not uncomfortable. The handlebars are quite straight, and the suspension is a bit firm, but I like it. Of course, you can set it according to your preferences. You have several riding modes, including race mode, which in turn can be divided into 3 further different modes: race 1, race 2, and race 3. Despite all this power, the bike rides very easily, and you even have cruise control. Isn't that crazy? I didn't expect this. I didn't expect this at all. In fact, I thought it would be a thorough race bike made mainly for track use, but clearly not. The bike weighs 199 kilos wet. Certainly, the carbon wheels improve the agility and reduce the weight of the bike, but with all these electronics, it really is more accessible than I thought. The winglets, in my opinion, are embarrassing and ugly, and if I had to criticize something else, it would be the front headlight that I would change, but otherwise, it's a very good looking bike. Another downside are the vibrations on the handlebars. For long trips, I think it could be annoying. After some time at 130 kilometers an hour on the motorway, you may even lose the feeling in your fingers. As already mentioned, the bike can also be ridden at less than 50 kilometers an hour in 6th gear, and it obviously comes with a quick shifter that works very well, both at low revs and when the bike's under load. Now the brakes are wonderful. You get these M brakes, which are top of the line brakes. When actuating them, they're not too aggressive, but rather progressive. So in sum, they work very, very well. This morning, I thought this bike was going to kill me. I'm gonna admit that. But with this Bridgestone Battlex RS11 tires, which I think is the last road tire before the slicks, I felt very safe on this dry tarmac. The tires are great. They haven't seen the wet today, but I think with the electronics of this bike, the traction control, the cornering ABS and so on, it handles very well even on wet roads. And the electronic systems, when activated, do not do so in an unpleasant way. On the contrary, they do what they have to do very well. And it's not only us saying that, but also our former MotoGP rider Martin Bauer. So the winglets are only functional upwards of 150 kilometers an hour. Below that, they are just an aesthetic accessory. Now, I think we've said it all. In conclusion, I say that the bike is an all-rounder with this great low-end torque and explosive power at high revs. It's very pretty from almost all angles, and people will certainly turn their heads to look at it. Anyone who takes it to the Alpine roads will tell you that you can do it without a problem. That's it. Subscribe to the channel. Leave me a like if you like this video. Thank you for watching. Ciao, and see you next time.